Welcome, musicians. So last time we talked about the major key, and I also mentioned that this week we're going to work on a minor key. That's D sharp minor. So let me just show you, I guess, the difference between a major key and a minor key. Essentially, if you transpose a major key down a third, you will get its relative minor. And if you transpose a minor key up a third, you will get its relative major. So we looked at F sharp major, where you have Do, Re, Mi, Sol, La, Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti. Now what happens if you move everything down a third? Just down 3 notes. Do, Ti, La. So 3 half steps. 1 half step, 2 half steps, 3 half steps. That's a minor third. So now you have La, Ti, Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol. That's the 7 notes. And then it ends with La. So, Fa, Mi, Re, Do, Ti, La. So let me just give you an example of playing the song Happy Birthday in major. You have Sol, Sol, La, Sol, Do, Ti, Sol, Sol, La, Sol, Re, Do, Sol, Sol, Mi, Do, Ti, La, Fa, Fa, Mi, Do, Re, Do. That's Happy Birthday in Sol Fa. So let's do the notes. Sol, Sol, La, Sol, Do, Ti, Sol, Sol, La, Sol, Re, Do, Sol, Sol, Mi, Do, Ti, La, Fa, Mi, Do, Re, Do. Now what happens if we move everything down a third? So Do becomes La, we have Sol becomes Mi, so now we start from Mi. Mi, Fa, Mi, La, Si, Mi, Fa, Mi, Ti, La, Mi, Do, La, Sol, Fa, Re, Do, La, Ti, La. So I guess now, if you really hate somebody, you can play their Happy Birthday in minor. So yeah, that's how you do transpose just everything down a third, or 3 half steps, and you stay in the key, obviously. You know where Do, Re, Mi is, you know where Sol, La, so this becomes the tonic, which is La, D sharp. D sharp minor is the relative minor of F sharp major. So you don't change any of the notes. Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do, Ti, La, Sol, Fa, Mi, Re, Do, Ti, La, La, Ti, Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La. Now there are 2 other types of minor scale. So what we looked at is the natural minor. So the notes don't change from the major scale at all. This always is Do, this is always Re, this is always Mi, this is almost always Fa, this is always Sol, this is always La, and etc. So that doesn't change. You just begin 2 notes down. So that's the natural minor. And like Tchaikovsky has a piece, Pas de Deux, where he just goes, and then he goes from La. Just the major scale and its natural minor scale. Now there are 2 other types of minor scales, which is the harmonic minor, which goes La, Ti, Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Si, La, Si, Fa, Mi, Re, Do, Ti, La. So where you change the 7th scale degree of the scale and move it up a half step. So it was Sol, you move it up a half step, it becomes Si. And there's also a melodic minor, which is La, Ti, Do, Re, Mi, Fi, Si, La, Si, Fi, Mi, Re, Do, Ti, La. So you change both the 6th scale degree and the 7th scale degree, which means Fa becomes Fi, and then Sol becomes Si. But those are the other 2 types of minor. So with that aside, I think we should only focus on the first 3 notes of minor, which are La, Ti, Do. So the parallel between do, re, mi in major, where you have the tonic, the supertonic, and the mediant. Now I also forgot to mention this last time, like all of the scale degrees in my last videos in F sharp major, so I'm just going to do that now. So you have the tonic, do, right? Supertonic, re, the second scale degree. Then you have the mediant, mi, which is the third scale degree. And why is it called the mediant? It's because it's right in the middle between the tonic and the dominant. So then you have sol, which is the dominant, which is the fifth scale degree. Fa is called the subdominant because it's right under the dominant. So the mediant is between the tonic and the dominant. The subdominant is right under the dominant. So fa is right under sol. And then you have la, which is called the submediant. And it's called the submediant because it's the middle node between the tonic and the subdominant. There it is, la. The tonic, the subdominant, and the submediant. So the mediant is here between the tonic and the dominant. And this is the subdominant, this is the tonic, and this is the submediant, the sixth. The sixth is also where we start the minor scale, right? So that's the tonic of the minor scale. So that's the submediant. And then you have the leading tone, which is the T. The leading tone is called this because it wants to resolve to do. So it leads to do. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, what about the minor equivalents? So you have the tonic in minor, which is D sharp, obviously, down a third from the tonic in major. Then you have the supertonic, T, do. You have the mediant between the tonic and minor and the dominant in minor. Mediant. Then you have the subdominant, re. That's the subdominant in minor. Mi, that's the dominant in minor. Fa, that's the submediant because it's right in between the tonic, which is la, and the subdominant, re. And then you have the subtonic. So it's not called the leading tone because the leading tone would be this. That's the half step that wants to resolve, and this would be C. But this is the subtonic because it's right under the tonic. This is the tonic, subtonic. We'll get more practice with this, so don't worry if you can't remember all those names right now. Okay, so now let's go back to just looking at la, ti, do. This is what they look like on the staff. Just la, ti, do, 3 notes. D sharp, E sharp, and F sharp. Now obviously these 3 notes are sharped because we have sharps in the key signature. The F sharp is sharped here. The E sharp is sharped here. And the D sharp is sharped here. So those are the 3 notes. La, ti, do. D sharp, E sharp, and F sharp. So we have D sharp, E sharp, and F sharp. Okay, so la, ti, do, which is in this octave. This is middle C. So you can see that's 2 octaves below. Now this one on the treble clef, and then this one. Okay, so now I put up a little piece in front of you on screen, and let's do some practice. So if you take a look at the first line, it's exactly what was written here, which is la, ti, do, rest. La, ti, do, rest. Then la, ti, do, rest. La, ti, do, rest. Now look at the second line. it's in this octave, so in the middle C octave, right? So La, rest, Do, Ti, then you have Do, Ti, La in the octave below that, then go 2 octaves above, La, Do, rest, Ti, and then Do, Ti, La in the bottom octave of the grand staff, then go an octave above that, Ti, rest, La, Do, and then in measure 10, Ti, rest, Do, La, and then 1 octave above that, Do, La, Ti, rest, and then in the bottom octave, Ti, Do, La, and then there's a rest. Now, take a look at this. This is the exact same exercise from the ones that we did in Do, Re, Mi in F sharp major, but this is transposed down to minor. So you have La in the bass, Do, Ti, La, and in the right hand you have La, Do, Ti, La. So together, La, Do, Ti, La. And the last line, you have line 15, measure 15. So you have La, and the bass starts with Do. La, Do, Ti, Ti, La. And that's it. So fairly simple exercise where you just have 3 notes, La, Ti, Do. And this exercise shows you how to recognize those notes, like on the staff. So let's do this. Let's play this exercise like a couple of times so that you become familiar with it. No, not 3. We need 4 beats. 2, 3, 4. La, Ti, Do, rest. La, Ti, Do, rest. La, Ti, Do, rest. La, Ti, Do, rest. La, rest. Do, Ti, Do, Ti, La, rest. La, Do, rest. Ti, Do, Ti, La, rest. Ti, rest. La, Do, Ti, rest. Do, La, Do, La, Ti, rest. Ti, Do, La, rest. La, Do, Ti, and that's it. So that's the exercise. It's pretty simple. So now once again, we're doing it so that you could recognize La, Ti, Do easily, because this will come in important later. So it's like a parallel between Do, Re, Mi in major, La, Ti, Do in minor. Okay, so let's try it again. 2, 3, 4. La, Ti, Do, rest. La, Ti, Do, La, Ti, Do, La, Ti, Do, La, do, ti, do, ti, la, do, ti, do, la, ti, ti, do, la, do, ti, and that's it. Okay, so this is it. This is the whole exercise. So one thing that I forgot to do is to do the intervals between the notes. So we have obviously between la and ti, that's a major second. Between ti and do, that's a minor second or a half step. So whole step, half step. So if you remember, what is the inversion of a whole step? Inversion of a major second is a minor seventh. Ti, la, ti, la. And inversion of a minor second or a half step is a major seventh. Do, ti, ti, do. And inversion of a minor third is a major sixth. La, do, do, la, la, do, la, do. And I think that is it. Between those three notes. And of course the octave. So we have some more intervals, but those are intervals that we are already repeating because we went over all of the intervals in the key of F sharp major. But it's nice to do some review as well on that. I think that is all that I want to do with do re mi. Sorry, la ti do in D sharp minor. So yeah, just spend some time, I guess, between now and tomorrow's lesson, and just practice. La ti do ti la la ti do la ti do do ti la do ti la ti do la ti do la ti do la do ti la. Just do some practice, just like this. And once you get better at it, then there's really no unlearning it. Just three notes: D sharp, E sharp, and F sharp. La ti do. Okay. So I think that is all that I want to mention, and I'll see you in the next video.